Hello, Cryoparametric users. My name is Sudhanva Puranik, and I am a trainer for data technologies and content developer for iGetIt. Today, I will be delivering a live webinar on Cryoparametric 7. That is the recent version of Creo, and the topic would be advanced modeling using Cryoparametric 7, in which I would cover some of these advanced modeling techniques like advanced drafts, family table, profile and pitch variations in helical sweep command, relations, spinal bend, and toroidal bend. So, with this, let us start with the simple first two topics, that is relations and toroidal bend. So, this model is in the form of an extrude, like a plate, and then pattern of second extrude. So now here this thing is having a 360 length, and pattern is having 4 members, and it is like this is total length renaming of the dimension, and pattern members is the renaming for this dimension. And now right now there is a relation, but that is not active. So what happens that for this extrude, if I say make this length 720, which is 2 times, so this plate will change in length, but not the pattern members. They will not increase accordingly. And that thing I want to achieve with the help of relations. So the relation, I will just make it active. The relation is in the form of pattern members equal to total length by pattern spacing. So now what is pattern spacing here? That is the pattern spacing, which is this dimension. Pattern spacing is this, and pattern members. So depending upon this relation, pattern members equal to total length by pattern spacing, and then just I verify the relation. It should say that relations has been successfully verified, and say OK. So this will now create our result which is desired. So for this extrude now, I will go for change into the dimension. I will make it 360 into 5. So now pattern number should increase accordingly into 5 times. That initially they were 4. So now they must be 20. That is here. Number of pattern members are 20, and which is controlled by the relation. We cannot put that over here now. So that was the part of relation. And this is a very basic thing I have shown to you for relation. So if you want to learn this more, so we have our library of iGetIt courses for different software. Right now, my focus is on this PTC Creo. Over here, I'm dealing with the advanced modeling using Cryoparametric 4 course. So right now it is for Cryoparametric 4, and we are in a process of creating courses for recent versions of Creo as well. So this course, if you see, it will list all the topics of interest, and from them I have chosen some topics. So this is the relations, in which you will learn all the details, the theory, and all the other things about relations. Because whatever I have shown right now, that is a very simple and small thing. So that was about creation of relation over here. Then consider that this thing is a tire of a vehicle which is in a flat state. So now I want to make it a total round tire. For that, I go to engineering and say spinal bend. And yeah, sorry, before that, I need to unhide this sketch, which is over here. Sorry, that is the bending geometry. So engineering and spinal bend. and the bending geometry I would say as solid body, and spine for bending should be this cage. So now um, sorry, it should be a toroidal bend. Sorry. So this is a sketch and quilts is this thing. So now it is bending with the sketch properly, and it is at some radius. So now I will, instead of bend radius, I would say total 360-degree bend, and then just give the bend limits between first surface and second surface. So this will be nothing but the half size of a tire on one side, and then I can mirror this model. It's like this. So this part I mirror about the right plane of symmetry, and this would create a complete tire. And then for visualization, I can assign it a rubber gray appearance, and it would look like this. So to see the actual appearance, shading with reflections, and that is nothing but the rubber tire like this. So hope these two things are clear. First was relations and second was toroidal bend, and that is also mentioned over here in swept blend chapter, which is toroidal bends. So this thing is clear. Then let us go for next topic. Now this next topic is regarding profile and pitch variations in a helical sweep command. So here, this is a spring which is created with the help of a helical sweep command, for which this cage, if you see in front view, that is nothing but the profile in the form of a line for the helical sweep. Now, this profile is right now a complete straight line, and this helical sweep is right now having a constant pitch of 10 mm. So let us first see how to vary the pitch over here. So I go for pitch tab and add pitch at the end point. Say I make it 17. Then again add pitch by reference. That is at this point. Again add a pitch which is at next point. Again add a pitch. Next point. Add a pitch. And next point. So now my only job is to change the values of pitch over here. Or say this should be 14. So now you can clearly see that the pitch is now variable and profile is constant. Now let us try to vary the profile. So in the sketch of this profile, I will just change these two dimensions. So the profile has been changed, and based on that, now spring is also changed for profile and pitch both. So it is pretty simple how to vary the profile and pitch. So these things are explained over here, and some additional more things are also in different topics of helical sweep chapter. Then let us go for next topic. This is regarding the family table. So as we know that from family table, we can derive different types of models of same part having either some different geometry or some different dimensions, but the base model for them is same. Generally, that happens in the terms of families of nuts and bolts or washers, which are standard components. So this example I will show for a spanner. Now, this is made up of extrude features and they have been renamed. So if I enable the first feature only, that is a box end spanner. So a box end spanner looks like this. Both the ends are having a round over here and then hexagonal cut, which is nothing but a box formed. And then if I say the second feature, open left side cut, then it is a open end spanner. So now I want to create a family of this kind of spanners with the help of a family table, so that my base model would be only one thing, only one model. And then while opening that model, I can have a family table. So which I already created. The generic model is my main model. And then 4 instances I have created. So let us see this family table. And here you can see that the instances are listed. I'm just enabling and disabling these 4 extrude features and also the thickness dimension. The thickness dimension comes over here, which is nothing but this spanner thickness. Okay. So the family table is like this, and this is generic one. Now this one is open end spanner. If I see the preview, it will look like this. Both the ends are open, for which I am enabling both the open side cuts. Then open one end spanner, that is from RH, means only open end would be present for right hand side, and left hand side it is a total cut. So it would be like this, total cut here on left side, RH side it is a open end. Then box one end spanner LH, so it should be a box on LH, and right hand side it is a total cut. So which is like this, box on left side and right hand side total cut. And then box end, which we have seen already, that is like this, the first feature. So now let me just show you to create one, or say, yeah, one more instance we will see. I can put one more instance over here, and it can be, I will just copy this name, open one end spanner LH. So since it is a LH side open one end, so LH cut would be, yes, it should be present, and RH cut should be also present, but on RH I am also applying the total cut, and LH total cut is not present. And then spanner thickness I can choose as per my choice. Suppose I make it as a 12, and again this common name I will keep as it is. So this open one end spanner LH would look like this. On LH side there is open one end, and on RH side it is total cut. Okay. So I think this thing is pretty understandable and simple. This finishes the topic of family table. And if you want more in detail, then this is a whole chapter over here for family table, in which patternizing family table instances, then multi-level family table editing. These are some more topics. Those are also clearly explained, and also how to create a family table, that basic thing. So do refer to our course as well. Now, next topic, we have seen variations, relations, family table, and toroidal bend. So next one is a spinal bend. In this case, this is a generic model, and there is a sketch created in the form of a line and spline, and I named it as a spine. And now I want to bend this entire solid with respect to this spine sketch. So here in engineering, I say spinal bend, and bend geometry I will say as this, and spine would be this curve. And just reverse the direction. So the bending is achieved. And now the bending is done along the total length of the spine. That's why the model is going beyond its actual length. So if I say lock length, then only the model length will be bent, and this thing is remaining outside that. Okay. And next thing, I can create this up to some particular length. That kind of bending I can do. Suppose I put a 250 length, it is only bending up to that. Or say, suppose I enable the plane display, this is a right plane, and I say up to a reference and up to the right plane. So it is bending up to that plane only. So these things are possible with the help of spinal bend. That is also listed in this swept blends chapter, spinal bends. And now let us see our last topic, which is regarding advanced drafts. So generally we create simple types of drafts, but we will see something more over here. Like, see now here on this surface, it is drafted about this sketch on both sides in a opposite manner. You can see the draft angle opposite. Also in the right view, you can see that, front view. Yeah, in this view, it is like this, two sides. And also this draft is stopping over here up to this surface. And if we see in front view, in hidden line display, then the draft inside, that is only up to this thing. It is not going beyond that downwards. So let us see these things. Let us apply them on these sides. So I say draft and draft surfaces, I pick the intent surface. You will see in the course of I Get It what is the meaning and how to pick the intent surface. Then draft hinge, this thing, and then pull direction is this. So I will say angle of 45 degree, and then I will split it by draft hinge and both sides dependently. So it would be a draft given like this, which is similar to the draft on upper side. Then similarly, there would be a draft over here for the intent surfaces. Then hinge would be this thing. Pull direction is this. This is say 12 degree. Again splitting. And so now we can see in front view that draft is symmetrically opposite about this middle entity. Then over here, so I enable the display of planes, and for drafting I would pick this intent surface, and the draft hinges this plane. So you can see that now the draft I want to apply, that would be 5 degrees. and then splitting for second side, and this is done. So the geometry looks like this. In between these two planes, draft is not given here, and above that draft is given on upper side and bottom side. That is the split draft. And then last thing over here, that draft for this surface, where draft hinges this surface, and just increase the draft angle 15. Okay, and you can see that this drafted entity is coming out of this boundary. So I don't want to let that happen. That's why I enable this extend intersect surfaces draft option, and it would now look like this. The draft is stopping up to here. Okay, so this is done. And then for this draft feature, I will create a pattern which is a reference pattern. So that will be applied to all the draft entities. So these all details of drafts you will see in my this course of advanced drafts. There are some more topics as well, and also these patterns where you will learn the reference patterns and those types. So I encourage to you all people that please subscribe to iGetIt, find out the courses of Cryoparametric, not only advanced modeling course but the other courses as well. There is a lot of there to study for you. Please go through it and understand it. Thank you for watching my session. Thanks a lot.